Hi, my dears, and welcome to class virtually today. I am sorry that I am not there, but Piper is still pretty sick, and I am unable to leave her at this time. She has had me up since 3:30 this morning, and as you can tell, I look exhausted because it is now midnight and I'm just getting her to sleep. So, anyways, I do want to continue learning because it is really important that we move forward and we learn more information and we learn more about the chapter, even if I'm not there. So, I do need you guys to work super duper hard and be on your bestest behavior, please. All right, so we've talked about Andrew Jackson. No, we have not. We've talked about President Monroe in the era of good feelings. His presidency is known for this because a lot of good things were happening in the country. The country was doing well in the economy. They got Florida, and Supreme Court cases strengthened federal government. So if we want to recap, we can think about with the economy is during his presidency, they created tariffs. And a tariff is a tax on a foreign good. So any goods coming in from other countries, whether it be Great Britain, France, Spain, anything from coming in from another country got taxed. And it made it more expensive than American goods. Because if you're going to the store and you need to choose from buying an American-made product for $1 or a product made in Great Britain that's going to cost you $4, and it's the same exact thing, same exact quality, you're going to choose the dollar one because it's cheaper and it's the same thing. So what this did was it kept the money in America, and it was good for American businesses. In the economy, they also created the second bank of the U.S., which is a safe place to keep money, and it also lent out money. And then you have the American system, which was created by Henry Clay. And what this did was it wanted to promote better infrastructure for the U.S. Infrastructure kind of dealing with things that are going on inside the U.S., like better transportation systems, roads, and so forth. So this provided jobs and able to get from different parts of the United States easily and with more access. With the Supreme Court cases, there was 3 major Supreme Court cases: McCulloch versus Maryland, Woodward versus Ogden, and Dartmouth versus... Oh, I'm drawing such a blank. Somebody help me. I'm tired. Or Woodward. Or that third court case. You know what I mean, jelly beans. Even though they were all about different topics, the main result is they all strengthen the federal government, making the U.S. more of a powerhouse with a strong backbone in government. And then you have your third thing that made Monroe's presidency known as the era of good feelings was the Adams-Onis Treaty. And this gave the United States Florida, finally. Because what country controlled Florida, everybody? I can't hear you. Good. That is right. Spain controlled Florida. And what was happening was a lot of escaped slaves were going into Florida to try and get their freedom and escape. Well, the government sent Andrew Jackson to come and get them back and retrieve them because according to Southern plantation owners, these slaves were property. And while Andrew Jackson was in Florida getting these escaped slaves to bring them back, he kind of just started taking over cities, taking over towns, and said, while I'm here, I might as well just take this and that and this. And Spain's control was really weakening. So during Monroe's presidency, Spain and the U.S. signed the Adams-Onis Treaty, or Spain ceded or gave up Florida to the United States of America. So those are 3 things that contributed to Monroe's presidency being known as the era of good feelings. And those are all things you should already know because of previous class assignments that I left you while I've been out. The 4th thing that gave Monroe's presidency the nickname is the Monroe Doctrine. So I want you to take a second and take out a nice clean lined sheet of paper, and I want you to label it the Monroe Doctrine. Please and thank you while I check Piper on the baby monitor. Sleeping, can you see her? Kind of. All right, well, she's still asleep. So, we're going to talk today about the Monroe Doctrine, and I want you to take notes as we go through this. And if I'm going too fast, just tell the substitute nicely to please stop or please pause. And you can talk with the person next to you to say kind of what you wrote. But the PowerPoint is online, so you can always reference that as well. But pick those pencils and pens back up because I do want you writing. Capiche? And Miss Katie, I'm sorry if this video is hard for you. I do not have subtitles. Lo siento. All right, so let's talk Monroe Doctrine. No. But we're starting. All right. So what was going on was in South America and in Mexico area, these countries are really inspired by the U.S. once they gained their independence. They were also controlled by European nations. So they wanted to gain their independence and break away as well. So let's write down Central American nations were inspired by the U.S. to gain their independence. Okay. Simon Bolivar, let's write this one down too. Simon Bolivar, also known as the Liberator, led these independence movements in South America. And let's write this down as well. The U.S. recognized Mexico and 6 other nations as an independent nation and said, "Yay, congratulations, high five. You gained your independence just like we did." Okay? My flyaways are very pretty right now, huh? Okay. So all these nations that are close to the United States are gaining their independence, and the U.S. is recognizing this. And European powers are not too happy about it because if they lose land, they lose power, they lose resources, and they lose money. So the U.S. was a little nervous that European powers were going to try to come back and take over the land again. So they created the Monroe Doctrine. And I want you to write this down afterwards, okay? The Monroe Doctrine had 3 parts. Okay, so we're going to write down the 3 parts. The first part of the Monroe Doctrine says that the U.S. recognizes all newly independent nations. Dos. The U.S. will consider any attempt of European powers to reclaim these nations as a direct threat to their peace and prosperity. Okay. Time out. Let's think about that for a second because that's kind of hard. So I wish I had a map to show you. I don't think I have any props on me right now. But these newly independent nations are really close to the U.S. It's Mexico, it's islands off the coast of Florida, and other countries in South America. Because these nations are so close to the U.S., it's going to be a problem if there's a war so close, because that's not going to be peaceful. That's going to disrupt trade. It's going to make the U.S. probably lose some money. So the U.S. kind of wants to stand up to these like European bullies and, stand up for the little guy and say, if these European powers come and try to take over this land, we're going to consider it a direct threat to our peace and to our prosperity, and it's going to be a problem for us. Okay? So this is we're going to go back to writing, so time in. The third part of it says that if the European powers do come over and try to take them over, U.S. will take up arms and go to war. Okay? So the U.S. is saying that they're going to take action against these European powers if they try to come back and reclaim these newly independent nations. Because the U.S. has been there, they know what this is like, they know how hard it is to get their independence, and now they're trying to help other nations, gain and keep their independence like they have. Okay? So that is the Monroe Doctrine in a nutshell. What I want you to do right now is I want you to look at your handout. Okay? There's a reading on one side and then true and false on the other. I want you to work with your groups and answer all questions and mark up your text. Capiche? Caposh. And after you're finished with that, you're going to analyze 2 political cartoons on the Monroe Doctrine. Hopefully I will be able to get the PowerPoint over for the substitute to put the 2 pictures of the cartoons on the board for you to see as well. So please work hard, work together, and do your best work. If you need help, please send me an Edmodo message and say, Mrs. LeBlanc, I couldn't get over your crazy hairstyle and I could not concentrate, so I need you to re-explain the Monroe Doctrine, and that's totally fine. And don't forget, there are resources online. The PowerPoint is online under the Chapter 10 folder, so there are things for you to help you understand. Oh, excuse me. But my fingers are crossed that I will be there on Thursday, and I hope she starts to feel really a lot better tomorrow. So work hard, be fabulous. I love all of you, and hopefully I will see you on Thursday, my dears. All right, I will talk to you soon. Bye.